and you're very welcome to the last Sunday game of the 1997 Championship season. On tonight's programme, we look back on this afternoon's All-Ireland football finals at Croke Park. We have analysis of the big match, we'll be visiting the winners' victory banquet, and we'll also be naming our man of the match from this year's final. And with me in studio are Colin O'Rourke and Pat Spillane. Their considered thoughts on the game coming up a little bit later on. Well, let's begin, however, at Croke Park. Now, not just for the moment to join the match, but back a little bit earlier in the day and the build-up to the big match occasion at headquarters. What are those final hours before the game like around Jones's Road? Well, let us show you.
Testing 1, 2.
To reclaim the right corner back slot from Sean Burke. Perhaps the real loser here is captain Mike Hassett. His brother Liam now skippers the kingdom, who also have an alteration among their forwards. Billy O'Shea gets to start in place of Brian Clark. It means that Dara O'Cinada now leads the attack with O'Shea to his right and Maurice Fitzgerald to his left. And the flares are going off up on the canal end, where there are thousands upon thousands of Kerry people, with a couple of refugees from Mayo in there as well. This, the Mayo team, Mayo needed a boost up front after the semi-final against Offaly, where they put 17 wides to the right and to the left of the post. The axe has fallen on James Horan, remembered for scoring 8 points in last year's 2 finals. John Casey gets the call-up, having sat out the entire clash with the Leinster champions. David Heaney gets a second championship call-up in midfield, alongside the very much informed Pat Fallon, while David Nestor is selected on the wing this time, with Maurice Sheridan picked there to play at right half forward. The referee is Brian White from Wexford, his linesmen Brian Crowe from Cavan and Pat Casserly from Westmeath. And the Bank of Ireland All-Ireland final is underway. And straight away it's James Nallen leading it back there towards David Heaney. The youngster, precocious youngster, still coming forward. Mayo trying to make the better start here, and Brian White right on the spot. Going to throw the ball between two. Darragh O'Shea preparing to go in there against Liam McHale. Liam, who's 6'5". Scrambled and eventually picked up by Liam Flaherty. Now to the outside. William Kirby trying to make some headway. Dennis Dwyer leading inside there towards Liam Hassett, the man on the 40. Cross towards Parlay. Remembered this season for that wonder goal he got in the Munster final against Clare. Laid against Kennelly. The angle shot towards Maurice Fitzgerald. Dwyer is there as well. Back it comes towards Darragh O'Shea. An easy one in the end there, which is picked up by Peter Burke. He's had a good campaign so far. His defence has done very well in front of him. Towards MacDonald, breaking it down, but there are 3 Kerry players there. That was nicely in there by Killian Burns. The kick ahead there by William Kirby. O'Shea back to Parlay. Hassett has just moved ahead of him to the right. Laid going for the score himself. Big cheer up on the canal end, and why not? Kerry have taken the lead. And it's Parlay who's got it. So a great start for Parlay. And Flanagan is still in real trouble, and I think he may be forced off. I must say I was surprised when he came out and there wasn't any strapping on the leg, because the rumours had been doing the circuit. We're seeing James Horan about to come on, so Flanagan is gone, and he lasted just about 4 minutes. Peter Burke waiting to take the kick out. Fallon trying to break that one down. Flaherty has it instead. They've brought back Fergal Costello, I can tell you, to pick up Billy O'Shea. Costello has gone from right half back to left corner back, and Heaney has gone back to right half. So switch has already been forced on the Mayo mentors. Kerry coming again. Liam Hassett, their captain today, against James Nallen. Trying to pick out William Kirby. Pass a little bit slack. Horan was in there to intervene. O'Shea has it again. Nephew of Corby, of course. Son of Mihal, kicking and scoring. Darragh O'Shea getting a second point for Kerry, and they're already very pleased up there on the canal end, and indeed wherever Kerry fans are right around Croke Park. It's Kerry 2, Mayo no score. Good possession. Mayo trying to construct a scoring chance here. It's MacDonald kicking, and again he's put it to the right. It was their major flaw after the semi-final, of course, and we mentioned those 17 wides, which must have annoyed John Maughan here and his fellow selectors, having a chat there with Tommy O'Malley. This is Liam Hassett. In towards Maurice Fitzgerald, but Pat Holmes there instead. Now the other Pat Fallon. Trying to get this Mayo team going. Push in the back that time. Guilty party was Killian Burns. David Nestor, the player who was pushed, free taken by Pat Fallon. Now MacDonald. Awkward angle. Can they make it this time? They can. It's taken 15 minutes. Or has it? Well, the man on the left was certainly waving it over. And the referee has said, hang on, it wasn't a point. And he is flabbergasted. The man on the left-hand side definitely indicated that it should have been a point.
Well, Kieran MacDonald gets it on his left foot and does what every left-footed corner forward will do, cuts back inside. Impossible to see from there whether it was over or not.
So still no score there for Mayo. Flaherty kicking towards Billy O'Shea. Fergal Costello's alongside him. Punt to the head towards Darrow Kineda. O'Shea and Maurice Fitzgerald go for the same ball, and they foul it up between them. Pat Holmes leaving it there for Fergal Costello, trying to get it out in spite of the incessant pressure back there that the Kerry forwards are exerting. McMiniman, Nallen. Billy O'Shea is the player on the ground. Mayo with 7 scoring chances so far. This is the where it was Maurice Fitzgerald who collided there with Billy O'Shea, both going for the same ball. Nobody likes to see a player structured off. This will be the second player we'll have lost from the starting 30 because of injury. Dermot Flanagan the first, and now Billy O'Shea. Sympathetic applause from Kerry and Mayo fans, and let's hope it's not too serious. So John Crowley is the one who is getting the nod to come on, and on he is indeed. He's gone into full forward, and Maurice Fitzgerald's gone to top of the right. Darrow Kinnaid has gone to top of the left. Well, the game was held up for at least 4 minutes there. This is Darrow O'Shea trying to make some headway. Maurice Fitzgerald challenged by James Nallen, and the referee says he was being held back by Nallen. It's a free to Kerry, and Maurice Fitzgerald presumably will be the one who'll take it himself. This is about 14 metres out, very acute angle, looking for Kerry's 4th point and his own 2nd. He's measured it well, and he's put it over the bar. That's a brilliant kick by a brilliant footballer. 2 points for Maurice Fitzgerald. Kerry have made the dream start, and they lead by 4 points to 0.
Well, that's absolutely incredible. The most fantastic skill that you will ever see, a player who's able to do that off both feet. I'd say Maurice said to himself, this one is for Billy O'Shea.
So another kick out. And to date, Kerry's midfield possession from kick-outs, they've won 5 out of 7. Mayo have won 2 out of 3 of their kick-outs so far. 46 metres out. MacDonald waiting for it inside, alongside him Stephen Stack. This is one that Mayo urgently require, and he can provide it at last after 23 minutes. Maurice Fitzgerald getting it with the free, and Mayo have something to cheer about, and it's 4 points to 1. Declan O'Keefe, a very thoughtful goalkeeper, kicking towards Darrow O'Shea, fisted down by Pat Fallon instead, but straight to Flaherty, over the head of Darrow Kinnaid. Not a good ball for him. It was always favouring Kenneth Mortimer. Steady and assured play to Noel Kennelly, who's been a great captain over the last few years, but that's not a great pass. It's straight to Darrow O'Shea. Kennelly tries to get back to amend his own error, as it were. Hassett kicking, but woefully so, and away to the left. That's just the first wide, however, for Kerry, and they have 5 points on the board so far. Short kick out taken. David Nestor way back. Mayo are looking so disjointed as this half wears on. I think the half-time break can't come quickly enough for them. Hassett. This time it's David Heaney. Now Colin McMiniman. Keeping it away, but not succeeding in keeping it away from Seamus Moynihan. Darrow O'Shea. Now Liam Hassett. Into space, William Kirby. Thinking of the one he missed, perhaps. This time laying it off to Maurice Fitzgerald. Pat Holmes alongside him. He's almost toying with the fullback. That's a beautiful kick. That's superb skill. What a footballer. 4 points by Maurice Fitzgerald. 4 chances as well, and he's taking each and every one of them. Wonderful leadership.
Kerry have too much time on the ball. That's the problem at the moment. They're making errors with too much time. Kerry, on the other hand, are forcing a lot of errors from Mayo with very, very tight tackling.
David Nestor lobbing it in. MacDonald very much the target man in there at this stage, and Maurice Sheridan's in trouble. I see him limping, calling for attention as Kerry take the ball down the field. Eamon Breen. Well, if Mayo don't get some scores very quickly, they'll be very soon too far adrift to be able to put in any kind of second half challenge. That was Dennis O'Dwyer Not functioning all that terribly well at left half forward at the moment. Instead it's Kennelly towards the injured Maurice Sheridan. He stumbles towards it, he's free, and he's got a chance, and he's put it over, but he is limping and limping badly. A third point by Maurice Sheridan. He's their only scorer, and that's the only score from play they've had in the opening half. This is William Kirby. Again, Kerry have the chance to build. Kirby towards Dennis O'Dwyer, popping up at left corner forward at stage against David Heaney. Going forward, carrying it on well, winning the free.
Yeah, Mayo looking very disorganised at the moment, giving the ball away almost every time. Kerry not doing a whole lot better with possession, but looking a bit sharper in attack. They could be really out of sight at this stage if they took all their chances.
Maurice Fitzgerald taking his chances. 5 points for the day so far. 5 kicks at the target as well. And they are very, very pleased, hoping that Sam will be heading back down to the southwest by tomorrow evening. Mayo created 11 scoring chances, have taken just 3. Kerry have had the exact same number of scoring chances, and as you see, they have taken 8 so far. Well into injury time. All the breaking ball being collected in midfield by Kerry. That's Flaherty, annoyed with himself as he played that one off. It was a very difficult ball for Darrow Kennedy to contain, but he's done it very well. To Maurice Fitzgerald. Pat Holmes being told by referee Brian White that that's it for the first half. The referee played over 4.5 minutes of injury time, which was warranted because of the injury to Billy O'Shea. And so as the teams go in at half-time in this 108th All-Ireland football final, here's the position. It's Kerry 8 points, Mayo 3.
The second half of the final began with Diarmuid Byrne replacing the injured Maurice Sheridan in the Mayo team.
Is the cup going to Connacht? Is it going to Munster this year? The famed Sam Maguire Cup. Darragh O'Shea has been magnificent in the first half alongside William Kirby, and it's Pat Fallon there and Liam McHale. And Darragh O'Shea wins the ball straight from the throw-in. William Kirby. Too far for Maurice Fitzgerald, is it? No, he manages to just about keep it in play. Swings it back here towards Johnny Crowley. Kerry's sub on the first half, looking for the first point of the second. And this time it has gone wide. That's now a total of 3 wides for Kerry, 7 from Mayo. Kick out about to happen, and the kick-outs in the first half, they were rather interesting. Kerry won 9 of their 11 kick-outs, whereas Mayo won only 4 of their 9. This is Peter Burke. Heaney operating at right half-back, beaten for it. Dennis O'Dwyer trying to get more into this game. William Kirby trying to keep Liam McHale away from it. McHale yet to turn it on in the Mayo colours this afternoon. Trying to win vital possession. James Nallen back to Pat Holmes, who had a very torrid opening 35 minutes of football here. Pat Fallon, who didn't play well in the first half. Giving possession out there to David Heaney. Mayo building slowly. Horan kicking in ahead, over the head of Diarmuid Byrne. He was being pushed by Seamus Moynihan. Now who will take over as free taker? Will it be Kieran MacDonald? Shaping up like he will be the one. So this is where Mayo hope to begin their comeback. Pressure for Kieran MacDonald, but it's a fairly routine kick. And that's his first point. Huge cheer from the Mayo fans, who are still not without hope. And only 4 points between the teams. Declan O'Keefe playing in his 8th championship match, kicking this one out. One back again here by Pa Lade. Did some very useful work in the first half for Kerry against Noel Kennelly. Lade puts the head down, goes straight for the target. The angle shot in here. O'Dwyer is in out for it. And where does it end up? It's taken well by the goalkeeper, Peter Burke. That's excellent goalkeeping. Faced with a real problem that time as that ball was coming in from Lade. Pat Holmes out here to Noel Kennelly. Trying to get his team out of trouble. Liam McHale has it. Forward for Pat Fallon. Mayo beginning to motor. James Nallum, goal scorer against Kerry in the semi-final last year, almost stumbled. It's still Nallum, 22 metres out. McMenamin kicking in, but it's an awful pass ahead. David Nestor was looking for it, and there was another great goal chance presented to Mayo. A wonderful run through the centre by James Nallum.
With this long ball in, and most referees would give a free out in this case. Very, very good goalkeeping there by Peter Burke, with Dennis O'Dwyer coming in on that high ball.
This is William Kirby. Maurice Fitzgerald, Johnny Crowley, a possible target downfield. Nearer to him was William Kirby, doing an awful lot of wonderful selfless running. Now in a scoring situation, the Kerry midfielder shouldered, stumbling, and the referee says it was an unfair shoulder. And Pat Fallon has a bemused look on his face, and Kerry get the free in. A great run by Kirby. Maurice Fitzgerald getting Kerry's first point of the second half and his sixth in all. So as you were at the break, Kerry continuing to lead by 5 points. Maurice Fitzgerald taking it on, and the man he's taking on, Pat Holmes. A kick by Fitzgerald that sails over the bar. Everything he does this afternoon is producing something positive.
And he does, Gerald, about the temperament of Maurice Fitzgerald to do it on the big day or the spell. An incredible display here of the most skillful footballer probably ever to play in Croke Park. But why are Mayo leaving Pat Holmes on him?
The hand pass to Noel Kennelly, and again Flaherty got in a good timely shoulder. Parlade is in there. Picked up very well by the fullback, Barry O'Shea. Out to William Kirby. The Tralee man kicks it in deep. Great ball in. Picked up here by Johnny Crowley. Here's a goal chance, and again it's stopped by the goalkeeper. Superb goalkeeping by Peter Burke. That's 2 certain goals he's averted during the second half, which is only 8 minutes old. Kerry were seeking to put Mayo out of sight in this final. Instead, it's McMenamin trying to be the provider this time. McHale was calling for it. They go long towards David Nestor, and it's taken chest high by Killian Burns. Very assured play by the cornerback, and a good ball out to William Kirby. It was Darragh O'Shea who was prominent in the first half, Kirby in the second, and Johnny Crowley again. Where's the marking again, you wonder? And an easy one, unchallenged by the substitute. Johnny Crowley's first point.
Well, the reason for that is Johnny Crowley is now playing at centre forward. James Nallum went on a long run up the field, didn't get back. Kerry broke up the attack and got the ball quickly down to John Crowley, who takes a very easy point.
McHale putting it out here to James Horan. This is where they need his inspiration, like he produced last year with 8 marvellous points in 2 games, to McMenamin, and this time he puts it over the bar. His first point of the day, and they need an awful lot more where that came from. I think you can be certain of that at this stage. McHale coming together, lovely catch. Pat Fallon, he's got some latitude here. Darragh O'Shea's chasing after him. It's still Fallon, 20 metres out, and he's hit it off the post. Back to Seamus Moynihan, and Kerry breathe a huge sigh of relief. That should have been a score. Darragh O'Shea coming to try and catch. He drops it down, and that's enough to allow Pat Fallon and Colin McMenamin to try and build something. Again, McMenamin goes long, and a chance perhaps presenting itself there. Diarmuid Byrne was the player, and it's a penalty. Mayo have got a break. Barry O'Shea deemed to have pulled down Diarmuid Byrne. It looked pretty innocuous, I must say. And Paulie O'Shea won't be one bit happy. But it's a lifeline for Mayo. It's going to be Kieran MacDonald who would take it. His side are 6 points behind. We are now just 14, nearly 15 minutes into the second half. Declan O'Keefe is poised. He's studied penalties, I can tell you, in the past of Mayo players. But I think he was expecting if there was a penalty, it would be Sheridan. It's MacDonald instead. and he's cracked it home. Mayo are right back in this All-Ireland final. 15 minutes into the second half, the West is awake. Mayo are back. That was a brilliantly taken penalty by Kieran MacDonald, hit with precision to the goalkeeper's left and right into the corner. A dream kick.
Fabulous penalty kick by Kieran MacDonald, a player who's going badly, and it took a great nerve to do that.
3 points separate the teams. Mayo, who are almost dead and buried, looking rudderless, lacking cohesion, are back in the hunt. Now one will be the Kerry reaction to that. Pat Fallon, again trying to build from a deep position. Carried forward with pace. Heaney coming up from wing back, trying to engineer something. Back towards James Horan, and he's kicked another one. It's gone over the bar. James Horan, a man for the big occasion, if ever there were one. His first point today, but his 9th point in All-Ireland finals. That's a vital one, because now the margin is down to 2 points. Well, we did say that if Mayo got a goal, they'd be back in it, and
yes,
that's the situation.
That's a great kick from James Horan, who kicked similar points to that in last year's final. Now we have a real match.
Colin McMenamin has picked up the kick out, trying to take it forward again and trying to torment Flaherty. Here's the kick. Horan again kicking, and again he lands a beauty. 2 in a row from James Horan. The All-Ireland final is firmly alive. There's a point in it, and John Mahon and his lads have got a lifeline, and Horan has begun to play. I think he's giving the answer to the mentors who omitted him in the first place. And we're about to have another change, and that looks to be Donald Daly is coming in. William Kirby is going off. Maurice Fitzgerald coming, jumping ahead there, taking a wonderful catch ahead of Pat Holmes. Morris, nice control, lovely style. The referee saw the jersey being dragged back. The innocent look on the face of Pat Holmes says it all, but there's also a little smile there. Well, he's needed it today. He's shown us a streak of aggression which has been necessary. And from the freeze, as always, he's near perfect. Another one. 8 points in all for Maurice Fitzgerald. And Mike Frank Russell has just come in to give the little slip of paper to the referee. So Darrow Canada goes, Mike Frank is on. Remember, there are only 2 between them, and Pat Fallon has won it back again. Nicely forward here. Fergal Costello tearing through the heart of the Kerry defence. He got a great point in the semi-final, but this time he tries to link up with MacDonald when he perhaps should have gone for the score himself. He was about 25 metres out. Seamus Moynihan kicking it to the totally unmarked Donald Daly. Fallon is standing back from him. In towards Mike Frank Russell it comes. First ball, first possession against Kenneth Mortimer. The hand pass to Paul Lade. His marker standing back from him somewhat, and Lade comes forward. Here's a goal chance, and again the goalkeeper does wonderfully well. Peter Burke denies Dennis O'Dwyer, and Kerry will have felt they might have got a 3rd goal there. Wonderful goalkeeping by Peter Burke. And Mayo about to make another change. And coming in for Mayo, PJ Loftus, the man who's got goals in the past when they were badly, badly needed. They have a player down on the ground injured. They're down to 14 effectively right now. The kick inside by McMenamin. In towards Diarmuid Byrne. Barry O'Shea into MacDonald it comes. Oh, the pass back into space. And Kerry got a chance to get the ball away. Still the pressure on the Kerry backline. Byrne kicking it in, but very much off balance. And the ball has gone wide.
Great chance for Mayo there. Could have ended up in the net.
Dropped in, Flaherty coming across. He's so tough, very strong, takes up good positions. It comes out to Green once more, relieving the pressure on his defence with a long kick towards Johnny Crowley. This is parlayed. Others stood back. Lade showed his pace. It's still parlayed. Pat Holmes trying to keep it away from the danger zone. It's Kenneth Mortimer from Mayo. Can they build now from their own end line virtually? Again, it's their magnificent goalkeeper Peter Burke here. Now Pat Holmes out to Fergal Costello. They pick out MacDonald, but they really need him in front of goal right now. He's out around the middle of the field being chased by Stephen Stack. The kick into space. On it goes here. A chance perhaps of a late score, and that's gone away to the right there. PJ Loftus' first contribution to kick the wide. Mayo had 12 wides in this match. Kerry just 8. Pat Fallon. Are Mayo to be losers for the second year in a row? There's just about 2 minutes to go. They're 2 points behind. Pat Fallon trying to hold on to it. And Eamon Breen adjudged to have fouled him, and there'll be a free from just outside the 30-metre line. He's got 2 out of 4 frees so far. This is much more difficult than the one he missed, which was more or less in front of goal, but which he mishit. Again, huge pressure. Jeering on the canal end. And again, he's missed it. Such a high-pressure occasion. And he's so disappointed, John Mahon. Right now, they could be level. Possession now absolutely vital. Dennis O'Dwyer pops a high one there after he took possession. He was fouled by PJ Loftus. And the animated Paulie O'Shea over there. This is what happened. A high elbow, really.
Yes, a very high elbow there by PJ Loftus, and Dennis Dwyer had done very, very well to win that ball. A vital kick out to win for Kerry.
We're well into injury time. Kerry aware that a late chance presenting itself to Mayo for a possible goal, and Mayo will be there to take it. So now it's at the discretion of the referee. Darragh O'Shea kicking this one. And again, the Mayo defence trying to block it out somehow. Out by Fergal Costello, out to Noel Kennelly, trying to construct a move. Heaney was beaten for Chris Flaherty, kept his eyes on the ball the whole time, was very assured, and that's going to be a free downfield to take some further pressure off. Maurice Fitzgerald, inevitably, the one who engineers the free.
Yes, and Morris should try and kick this one for a point or kick it wide. Get the ball out of play, waste more time. But again, Noel Kennelly with a very bad foot pass there, giving the ball away to Liam Flaherty when he should have been setting up a Mayo attack.
So Maurice Fitzgerald kicks this one deep, right in there, and it's gone over the bar, and that's surely now going to ensure that Kerry at the very least don't lose here this afternoon. Fitzgerald has got 9 points, and it's all over, and Kerry have won back the All-Ireland title after a gap of 11 years. Champions last in 1986. They have just won their 31st All-Ireland title, and Maurice Fitzgerald was superb. 9 points out of a winning tally, and he has a big smile on his face, smiles among the fans as well. The gap has been bridged. The famine, as they say, is at an end for Kerry. They just scored 5 points in the second half, but that was enough in a tight enough finish. Fitzgerald got 6 out of 7 from frees this afternoon, and he got 3 out of 4 from play. So a wonderful average, and Paulie O'Shea has done it. He has masterminded their victory in the 97 championship. Kerry are on top of the pile once again, and defeat is Mayo's lot for the second year in a row. The championship season is over for 1997, and Kerry are once again the champions, and Liam Hassett, the captain, takes the cup. The Sam is going down to the sunny southwest.
It certainly is indeed a marvellous win for Kerry today at Croke Park. Well, for 2 players this afternoon, it was all too short a time out on centre stage at Croke Park. Mayo's Dermot Flanagan had to limp off after just a few minutes with a hamstring injury, and then Kerry's Billy O'Shea was stretchered off with a compound fracture of the leg. Well, straight after the game, our radio colleague Con Murphy spoke to the Kerry forward on the phone from the Mater Hospital. As Paudie O'Shea and his players arrived at their victory function, the fans were there to congratulate the team. One notable absentee, however, was the Bow Sam himself, on his way to the Mater to be introduced to Billy O'Shea. Despite his injury, he was in upbeat mood.
Primarily, I'm very happy that the boys had won. I mean, the ultimate goal has been achieved and we won it. I suppose personally it doesn't do good. I have a compound fracture on the left leg, but...
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, and to be a while before I'm back. But I would fair play to the staff here, you know, at the Mater. They've set up a television in the hall, and I managed to catch the last few minutes of it, like so.
Were you able to contain yourself?
No, they managed to hold me down and drug me a bit and things like that, but you know, they've been very good, I must admit now, and it eased the pain, let's put it like that.
I don't know, you probably didn't hear Maurice Fitzgerald. He was interviewed afterwards there, and he was saying he was actually feeling quite emotional even as the game was going on because of the injury.
Yeah. I remember actually it happening and Maurice coming over. I just said to him, look, forget about it, get on with the game, because, you know, that's the last thing that you want to have is a thought like that in your head, you know. But look, I mean, I'm fine, and Kerry have won, and all the boys are on a high, and I'm going to get back to them during the week, and I'll be drinking them under the table when I get a hold of them, you know.
I think they're going to get to you before you get to them.
Well, this is the one time anyway that Maurice is to be able to catch me anyway.
In fact, Maurice Fitzgerald was one of the players who made that trip to the Mater along with O'Shea's Lown Rangers clubmates Mike and Liam Hassett. As it turned out, he'd have to wait for another day to see the Cup. He was just over an operation to repair damage to that left leg.
It was very unfortunate what happened. I think Billy was shaping up to be having a great game. He won a good few balls in the first 10 or 15 minutes. And, you know, things like that happen in football frequently. So I think Billy, being the sportsman that he is, he knows that the fact that we won, I think he'll be smiling, I'd say.
Well, I think it was me that made the final contact, actually. It an unfortunate accident. Billy, I think, really optimised the spirit of the whole team today. I went to him immediately and he said my leg is gone. And I kind of said sorry to him. He said, you know, he said, look, keep the head up. He said, work on. I went back to him, I think, just before he was stretched off, and he said, just do it for us. He said, you know, so, you know, our thoughts with Billy. I think he's been operated on present, so we can't get to see him. But, you know, I think Billy was one of the real stars there today.
Was that the inspiration behind that wonderful sideline kick?
It was a tremendous help. I felt really bad after the incident, but you know, Billy being the player he is, he was very cool about it, and he was obviously in a lot of pain. You know, he just said, just keep the head up and keep it going. And I think everybody rose to the occasion after that.
Billy, the type of player he is, like, you know, I suppose if he had his other leg broken, he would still have probably said the same thing, like, you know, just to get on. And thankfully, we won it for him, and I suppose at the end of the day, like, you know, it's just great that he has an all-out medal.
Yeah, Billy, I'm sure that you're watching the programme tonight. We wish you well, but I think the subsequent events at Croke Park after you left will have eased the pain a little bit. Well, while the Kerry team this evening were heading to their victory banquet for the Mayo players and their mentors, well, there was the difficulty of having to come to terms with losing the All-Ireland final for a second year in succession. A depression over the Mayo banquet tonight that can only be imagined. However, to give us some idea of what the mood is like there, here's Jim Carney.
Yes, for the third time inside 12 months, the Burlington is once again heartbreak hotel for Mayo. And the team here tonight again has to bear the pain of defeat. One man has to bear it more than most because he's the father figure of the team, manager John Maughan. John Maughan, thank you for being gracious again and coming to talk to us. How do you assess it now, several hours after it's over?
I suppose it's gut-wrenching. It's like having a love affair or maybe planning a marriage and suddenly your fiancé decides not to walk up the altar. And it's obviously very disappointing, but I'd like to congratulate the Kerry team to the better side on the day. And I think, looking back now, it probably would have been an injustice if Mayo had robbed that game today. And we could have possibly won it in the last maybe 10 minutes. We had a run in the second half after scoring the penalty. We had a good 15-minute spell, and we didn't put our chances away when we might have. And obviously, Maurice Sheridan's loss was significant because we missed a couple of vital frees. But I think all in all, Kerry were the better side, and some of our guys didn't live up their reputation today.
John, you said to me privately that if Mayo played as well today as you played last year, you'd have won it.
I honestly believe that. We didn't play as well as we did. We didn't play as well as we did against Galway on the 25th of May in June. And I mean, that's, worth considering because, kind of football would have been considered in the last number of years has been of a low standard. But the best game of football we played And the best game, the best match we had, and I say this with respect to Leitrim Sly going Offaly, I think the best game of football was the game we played against Galway and Tuam. And, you know, we didn't play as well as we did last year, no doubt about that. I think had we done so, we probably would be we'd have Sam here tonight.
Being truthfully and honest, brutally honest, I suppose, in many respects. The fact of the matter is we didn't play anywhere near our potential today. And when you don't expect to win, and suffice to say that's what happened at the end of the day, Jim. And I'd be the first one to hold my hand up and say, congratulations to Kerry. I hope they enjoyed their win. I mean, obviously, when we came up, we had full designs on winning the title ourselves, but it didn't work out, and just have to go back to the drawing board.
Yes, it is obviously tough on Mayo tonight, but Tony Davis was reminding me this afternoon that they lost 2 All-Irelands in 87 and 88, and one of them in a replay before that particular Cork team won the All-Ireland the following year. So maybe there is light at the end of the tunnel for Mayo. And you're welcome back to the programme. There again is the scene down at Jury's Hotel. It's the Kerry Victory Banquet, and we'll be going down there and talking to some of the principals very, very shortly indeed. But right now, Colin O'Rourke and Pat Spillane are with me here in studio to look back on this afternoon's All-Ireland final and to give us their thoughts. Pat, obviously you're a very happy man tonight. In your day, these things came a little bit easier, but this was a very significant win, obviously, for Kerry this afternoon.
This was a very special occasion, very, very pleasant. You know, I've been on this programme now for a number of years, and inevitably, once every year, I had to analyse a Kerry defeat, and it didn't come easy for me because, as everyone knows, I don't call a spade an agricultural implement, and now I'm delighted tonight to be able to sort of not gloat, but just to enjoy and savour a deserved Kerry victory today. I'm particularly delighted for some of the fellas that I soldiered with, Eamon Breen, Liam Flaherty, Stephen Stack, Morris, guys that maybe didn't look like they might ever win an All-Ireland. And finally, at last, the monkey is off the back, and the Fitzgeralds and the Hassells. It's no longer Bomber, it should be no longer Sheehy, it should be no longer the Spillanes. We're things of the past. The real heroes, the superstars in Kerry now, are the guys who were out there today. They were brilliant. People will say it was a soft All-Ireland. Maybe it was. Kerry made hard work of it. But next year, there's no mention of whether it was soft, unlucky, lucky, whatever like that. Sure. And just one word on Mayo. I mean, I've got a hard time for Mayo over the last couple of years, and people would suggest maybe that I would gloat or whatever like that. But unlike other sports, humility is part of Kerry's nature. And Mayo, they were a bit like the Mir space station today. They were malfunctioning in many parts, and when the rescue vessel did arrive, it wasn't sufficient. But they did contribute to a good game, and I didn't expect that they'd get to an All-Ireland final again. Credit for them to get to an All-Ireland final after their narrow defeats last year, and credit to them for a good sporting occasion.
OK, Colin, for a neutral view, I suppose, on today's match, and we have to be careful how we phrase this, given what happened a fortnight ago. This may be the greatest football game that was ever played, I'm not sure, but there was bits of it that might have been that good.
And there's the real view now. Well, there was the Kerry view, of course, and it doesn't matter. They would see it as a brilliant match, and Paddy O'Shea won't take umbrage, I'm sure, no matter what I say about it. But there was the Mayo side, because this was a disaster for them. They played very, very poorly. It was probably their worst performance in the last 12 months, and they've been in 3 All-Ireland finals. They looked totally leaderless and disorganised. But from a neutral point of view, this was a poor enough game. It was littered with a high number of unforced errors on both sides. Both teams seemed intent on giving the ball back to each other. Kick passing was very poor on both sides. Hand passing was very poor. But Kerry were much sharper, were much hungrier, and if they had a bit more ruthlessness up front, they could have finished the game off with a couple of goals. But from a Mayo point of view, it was an absolute disaster, this game, considering the fact that they came in with such high hopes, felt that they had learned a lot from last year, but didn't play anywhere near as good as in last year's final.
Well, there were certainly no complaints from a Kerry point of view on that score. They did what they came to do to Croke Park today, and we've looked at some aspects of their play, and it's been impressive.
Yes, well, one of the big things from a Kerry point of view was that they won almost all the kick-outs in the first half, and not too many of them were high fielding, but it was broken ball. And I picked out a couple from both sides. Kick out here from Peter Buck, good high kick out, Dennis O'Brien in to collect the break. Declan O'Keefe kicking out on the Kerry side. Again, great kicking out by both goalkeepers, and Liam Flaherty in to pick up the break. And getting breaks is not easy. You have to get in there, be willing to take a wallop. Liam Flaherty does it there. Any good farmer should be able to take a good shoulder like that anyway. Again, another kick out, lands in the middle of the field. William Kirby does enough, puts off Liam McHale, gets the break.
Kerry's defence in particular were excellent today, and they've added a steal to their play, which they hadn't up to now. Minan removing Flaherty here, man of the match in league final, a tremendous game today, a great interception. And again, Mayo tried to shot pass through the middle, and look, Flaherty hits Connolly, and you can see Kerry, the dogged determination, fighting for crumbs. Mayo weren't doing that. They come out and launch a counter-attack. And again, Killian Burns, you can see coming from behind in this, intercepting, getting a booted, and getting a ball out to Liam Hassett.
Well, here we had a few Kerry points. Great driven ball by William Kirby into Billy O'Shea, over the bar by Pallade, and Billy O'Shea was the biggest loss of the three players who had to go off through injury because he started very well. Well, this is a mark of genius. He's back to the wire. Maurice Fitzgerald, left foot. I don't know whether his weak foot is his left foot or his right foot, but it's just an absolutely fantastic point. William Kirby coming through again. Gives it to Morris. Most people would have said he should have been going on himself. This was into the wind. Pat Holmes lies off and thinks he couldn't possibly kick it over from there, but when you're a genius, I suppose you try these things. And the last kick of the match, again, on the right-hand side, right-hand touchline, over 50 metres probably, an absolute brilliant
Well,
point.
Morris has always been the most talented footballer, and today he delivered on the big stage. He's the most skillful Gaelic player in Ireland, and when you think of the money that the likes of Ry Keanes and Steve Staunton are making, it's an absolute disgrace that a guy of his talent isn't sufficiently rewarded. I think he could be a candidate for, he has the looks and all, for president. Who knows?
Maybe, but after today, anything is possible. OK, that's been the easy bit, I suppose, of tonight's programme, looking at Kerry and how they played. Let's deal with Mayo, Pat Spillane, and their performance today.
Well, Mayo have lost 3 All-Irelands now in the space of 12 months, and they've basically, it's as a result of squander mania, and again, misuse of possession. Here you can see short passing game. James Horton gets it and goes on a solo run along the sideline. He may as well have a bag over his head. He's going nowhere. Stationary in, lays it off to Kieran MacDonald in as bad a position, no movement in attack. MacDonald eventually gives it back to Horton. It's very easy to defend, and eventually you can see what happens. They overhaul the ball, free out to Kerry. Here we have McMenamin, plenty of time to get rid of the ball, but kicks a high ball which goes somewhere via Mars and Satram. High ball just into a full-back's hand. Kieran MacDonald never had a chance. And again, you had the Mayo half-back line never dominated today, but here's one run by Fergal Costa that he get it. But you can see the hesitancy here. He wasn't too sure whether to shoot or not. Then the Mayo attack goes in. He lays a pass off to Kieran MacDonald. Poor Kieran MacDonald was surrounded by everyone. No chance.
And then we had a series of bad Mayo wides. Kieran MacDonald guilty there, guilty on a few other occasions. Colin McMenamin coming through. The old failings coming back to haunt Mayo. And in the second half, when they did get on top, then we'd misses like this from PJ Loftus with James Nallingon running through. Again, easy points. Mayo kicked probably 7 or 8 easy wides. And if you just changed jerseys and put Maurice Fitzgerald in a Mayo jersey today, the result would have been quite different. Mayo probably would have won quite easily, maybe by 5 or 6 points.
I'm sure that's what a lot of Mayo fans would have been wishing for as the afternoon went on. Pat Spillane, they did get a lifeline. Mayo, with the penalty, was very well taken. Going to have a look at the incident again, because at the time people were wondering, was this or wasn't it?
But I suppose there are people down in Charlestown and Ballina saying this was Spillane now. He's going to say it was no penalty. The initial wasn't a penalty, but as you can see, Seamus Moynihan tugged David Byrne by the hand, and it most definitely was a penalty. Now, when you think of some of the penalties missed this year by Trevor Giles and Paul Beaton, that was an outstanding penalty kick into the corner, unstoppable by Kieran MacDonald. And like when you think of it, he missed 2 easy 21-yard frees in 14, and he kicked a very difficult penalty.
There were 2 other penalty claims, perhaps, Colin, during the course of this match, one from each side that we're going to take a look at, because there might have been justifiable claims on at least one of them, maybe both.
Now, certainly Mayo were claiming a second penalty, and I think they had justifiable claims. A long ball in which caught Kerry through him. Kieran MacDonald gets the ball and stopped, maybe charging a bit, but gives it back. And PJ Loftus coming through, and Killian Burns with the arm over the shoulder there, around the back, and certainly appears as if he pushes him in the back. Referee, of course, very close to the action. Then at the other side, Liam Hassett gets a ball, and he's going through. Fergal Costello certainly pulls him there in that position. A couple of Mayo men around him, and he gets the ball back. Again, the referee, in fairness to him, in a very good position. And I would have to say, like, that, you know, this year we've been dogged by refereeing controversies. Today, I would have to say, and I've been hard on referees, Brian White had a very good game, and I suppose the best thing we can say about him is for the whole game, you didn't really notice him being there at all.
We have been dogged this summer as well, Pat Spillane, by something else, which is odd umpiring decisions. And it's extraordinary. We talked about this in hurling final night, and it cropped up again today.
Yes, we had another disputed point today with Kieran McDonald. And now, like I said, we've had a lot of incidents. We had Raymond Cunningham in the Ulster final depriving Derry. I think, if you see clearly, McDonald turns onto his left foot. And I'm almost certain that it is a point.
The umpire
here on the far side, which is the more favoured position, puts his hand up to indicate a point. The guy in the near post is certainly not in the same position, and he indicates a wide. Now, that man with the hand up is in a much better position. Now, it didn't cost Mayo victory today, but we had... No,
the goalkeeper thought it was a point.
Well, Declan O'Keefe is a very, very honest man, and I would believe that Declan honestly thought it was a point as well. He was placed on the 21-yard line. But what it's highlighting is, we saw at the start of the programme, all the technology being used by the GA, all the preparation. But human error can cost a lot of months of preparation. And they'll have to do something about it, either use video evidence, change the colour of the post or something like that, but there's a major problem, and it shouldn't be the cause of costing a team an All-Ireland final.
Well, they'll have to put up higher posts. That's one simple way of solving the problem, because what's happening is a lot of these kicks are going high, maybe right over the top of the post that they are, so maybe add on another 20 feet to the top of the post.
Well, Colin, certainly the lower posts were very well protected today, and from the Mayo point of view, because if Mayo ever were to win this match, then they would have certainly made the president of Peter Burke, that's for sure, because he had a marvellous game.
In a marvellous game, and I suppose Mayo would say if they had him last year, because they gave away a few simple goals last year, if they had him then, they probably won it last year's All-Ireland. But today he was outstanding. This is a very difficult one. Comes out on a high ball with Dennis Dwyer, gets up and makes a double save and gets out with the ball. Next we have a high ball driven in. Maurice Fitzgerald gets up along with Pat Holmes, knocks it down. Incoming Johnny Crowley. And out Peter Burke, out about 10 metres on that one. It's difficult enough for a forward now when he gets in close to the goalie. Then this is another good example. Again, in that particular case, he's out very, very quickly again. But Kerry had to get one of those. They would have probably ran out fairly convincing winners. As it was, I think Peter Burke helped keep Mayo in the game for a lot longer maybe than they should have been.
OK, well, that's the analysis for the moment. Right now, though, it's time for us to go over to Jury's Hotel. As you can see, Ger Canning is standing by there, and I'm sure there are great scenes of jubilation, Ger, down in the Mayo victory bag, or the Kerry victory banquet, I should say, tonight.
Well, I think you got your answer there straight away, Michael. It's a fantastic atmosphere here at Jury's Hotel in Ballsbridge. There are hundreds of fans from Kerry downstairs here celebrating, and up here we're in the Element Oak Room, and the team and their mentors and their friends and relations are all here. I've got Paulie and Maurice Fitzgerald with me for starters. You've got the Midas touch.
That's right. Joe, we're delighted.
And he's modest to boot.
We're delighted it's all over. It's been a very long campaign for us this year, between league and championship, and you know, we've had a full year of training. We trained right through the winter, right up to today, and I think it's a relief now it's all over, and of course we're delighted that we got the result.
Well, of course you were All-Ireland winning captain back in '85, and now you've done it as a coach, trainer, manager, whatever the term should be.
Well, I think from the very beginning I would certainly like to say that this isn't by no means Paddy O'Shea. This has been done by very, very energetic management. Seamus McGarrett was coach, Jack and Tom O'Connor and Bernie O'Callaghan. All of us worked very, very hard, as all the panel did. So it was, from the very, very beginning, it was a team effort.
Mayo were very gracious, as we heard already on the programme here. They said the better team won today.
Well, we felt through the game that we played the better football, all right. And I can certainly say that we know, I know a little bit of losing all Irelands. It's difficult, and especially when you lose them 2 years in succession, it's more difficult. And unfortunately, there had to be a winner today, and well, we're delighted to be here and winning.
Well, we heard Michael Lester mention the presidency there. You're not going to become the token male candidate, are you?
I don't.
I think he's passing on that one. Maurice, terrific afternoon for you. You must have enjoyed yourself out there.
Yes, sure. We're delighted with it, really. I was a bit disappointed, all right, that I had to run in with Billy, and obviously I'll be talking to him later on, but we were thrilled with the way things worked out for us.
Well, he's probably listening to you right now. What's your message?
We'll see you tomorrow night or later on in the week, but you know, I think we did it for Billy, and he was an inspiration for us on the particular day, and in fact he was having a tremendous game. Actually, I don't think I touched the ball except for kicking Billy. But he was having a great afternoon, and we were sorry to see him go.
Colin O'Rourke was asking the question, have you got a weaker foot? Which is it? Which are you happier with, right or left?
And that's I kick with the right, I think, and solo with the left.
Maurice Fitzgerald, Paul Shea, many thanks. Marty.
Well, back in 1995, when the Clare Hurlers won the All-Ireland, they were always talking about the 15 bachelors. In Kerry, they've 13 bachelors, 2 of them are already gone. And the rumour here is if these two lads, Seamus Moynihan and Pal Aid, entered, they'd get a walkover in the Ballybunion Bachelor Festival. They'd be so popular. So, Seamus, tell us, how come you're such a big hit with the girls?
I don't know, Marty. Far from that, Marty, far from that, far from that.
A wonderful achievement, Seamus, considering that at times you got a lot of criticism, particularly below in the kingdom.
Yeah, well, Marty, so in Kerry, they expect a lot. They're well used to winning All-Irelands, and, you know, we went from, so 11 years is a long time in Kerry not to win an All-Ireland, and it's just great to be back and have the same back in Kerry.
I know at this stage you must feel very tired.
Yeah, after the game I was shattered, very tired, and you know, a little bit of life has come back into me, you know, again, and I say it's the same with all the players, but you know, it's just the most important thing is we won, and we've a long time now to enjoy it.
You played it very cute all through the championship. You kept your heads down, very little talk. You kind of expressed yourselves fully on the field of play.
Yeah, well, that was, you know, our own personal, you know, if we wanted to talk to the radio or TV, it was up to ourselves, and I think the most important thing was to retain the Munster final, or, you know, Munster Cup this year, and I think we all wanted to make up for last year after the All-Ireland semi-final, and thankfully, you know, things worked out this year.
Do you feel a certain amount of sympathy for Mayo tonight?
Oh, definitely. You know, you'd have to commiserate with Mayo after, I think last year, you know, they were very unlucky not to win an All-Ireland, you know, after going to replay and everything, and I've lost 2 All-Irelands myself, and I know how it feels like, and, you know, the less said the better, and, you know, they're a good team, they're a young team, and I think they'll be back as well.
OK, Seamus Moynihan, let's move on to Pal Aid. 2 fine points this afternoon, Pal?
Well, they went over anyway, Marty. They could have gone anywhere, I'd say, but we'll take them today.
Do you think right through the championship campaign, I mean, you won the National League. When the league was won, did you still think that the All-Ireland was attainable?
Well, Paddy was saying after the league final that the next date in our diary was the Munster final, so that was the next step that we had to take. We were probably sighting ourselves up for Cork, but Clare got through and we got through it. And then after that, then it was just every game as it came.
Just going back to the personal life for a moment, I mean, you're a banker, you're an All-Ireland medalist. Things are going to improve from now on, I'm sure, on the personal front.
Well, we'll see how that goes. We'll enjoy this week and we'll take it from there next week, Marty.
We do want to clarify, though, Pal, last night on the Kenny Live programme, Una Rahale kind of gave one side of the story. And I think it's only fair, Pal, that you give your side of the story.
Well, being the gentleman that I am, I leave her have the final say. But you can... You can ask Tony O'Keefe down there. He was trainer that year, so he'll fill it all in for you.
Well, Pal, Aid and Seamus Moynihan, thank you very much for your cooperation all through the championship, and well done.
Thank you very much indeed. Now we've got 2 of the younger lads from the team with us, Dara O'Shea and Killian Burns. You know, you weren't the prisoners of history out there today. You'd done it at minor, under-21 level, and you wanted to do it for yourselves, I'm sure, at senior level as well.
Yeah, it was nice to win today, and the supporters and everything, it was nice to win today, so it was.
You had a storming match out there with William Kirby in midfield today. He must have enjoyed it.
Well, Kirby took most of the punishment, so it was okay for me. We good backup as well. We'd Baba Breen and we'd Liam Flaherty as well, so we were okay there, so we were.
How proud are you as a young Kerry person to have finally got that monkey off your backs? It's 11 years since the trophy has ended up down in places like Tralee and Killarney.
It was nice to win it. It was nice to win it, of course, and it hasn't sunk in yet, like, so it'll take a while to sink in, you know.
I mean, you've been surrounded by your friends and your family and your fans today, and I mean, they're all here sharing this with you. Great moment for you.
Yeah, it's a proud moment, and my father and my mother stayed at home, so she did. She doesn't watch.
She was saying the prayers, was she?
She was, yeah. Herself, and the grandmother locked herself into the church this evening. So they said a few no opinions for all of us, but no, it was nice. It was nice to win. It was nice the way we did it as well, and you have to. My heart goes out to Mayo as well this evening. I mean, I trained with a few of them in Dublin with Micheál Murtick and the likes of Kevin O'Neill and Pat Fallon. You know, Kevin broke his leg and everything, and so I felt sorry for him and I felt sorry for Pat Fallon as well. You know, so and Ronan Goulding as well training with us. But
there is sympathy in sport then.
Yeah, I mean,
Not a lot.
Not a whole pile, but we'll say it.
Dara, many thanks indeed. Let's go on to Killian here. You haven't got the box with you just yet, I know, but great performance by the defence today.
Oh yeah, it was brilliant altogether, really. Liam Flaherty there, centre of defence, like, he had a stalwart performance altogether, and I thought we all backed each other up very well, like,
How important was it for you to win today, at the first time of asking, as it were, your first All-Ireland final?
It was unreal, really. We'd built it up from the very start of the year. I said earlier on, next Tuesday, 12 months ago, we started a campaign. It's a long campaign. To be terrible to lose it. As Dara was saying there, I know a couple of the boys on the Mayo team as well. UCG played with me, Morris Sheridan. It was tough. He came up to me, we had a chat after the game. You can't say much to him, really. But I'm delighted to be on the winning side. It's come the full circle now, and we're on the upper end of it.
And your dad came home from the States to be here, especially for his son's big day.
That's right. He's only 2 or 3 yards away now, the Shanachie, and I think
you'll have another story to tell after this one.
There'll be a couple of stories now being sang tonight, I'd say. There will. I'm delighted to do it. I was glad to be part of it, and my mother and father, and I'm very proud, really, for my family and myself. Yeah.
Killian and Dara, many thanks indeed. Well done to you.
I said it earlier today that one of my favourite spots, I'm after falling in love with a place called Killorglin, and I'm sure it's going to be a great place to be over the next couple of weeks. And the Hassett brothers have played a major role in bringing the Sam Maguire back. Just talk to me, Mike, first of all, about the news. I'll start on a bad note. The news when the team was announced and you weren't on it. What were your feelings?
I suppose my gut reaction, I think I was going to retire straight away, but yeah, I think as the week progressed, I met the lads after training on Saturday, and they all seemed in good form, and I think at the end of the day, it's a team game, and I think it was the 18 fellas who took part today, not only the 18, but I think the 27 or 34, whoever took part through the year in the challenge games and trial games and everything. I think at the end of the day, it was those amount of players that won it for us at the end of the day,
Of course, Killorglin are used to success, All-Ireland club success, Munster club, now they have the SAM, the National League, the Munster Championship. You've done everything, really.
I think the Sam Maguire was the only cup that we didn't bring across the Long Bridge last year, and thankfully it was Liam who brought it, who's going to bring it now tomorrow evening, so we'll be looking forward to a good night right in Killorglin tomorrow night.
Captain, indeed shared, I suppose, really, we could say, of this Kerry team. Liam, when the final whistle went, you were going up to collect the cup. Just who were you thinking about? What were your thoughts?
I suppose initially I was thinking about Mike. He was the first man that came to congratulate me after the game, and you think about the supporters, your family, and it was unbelievable. Going up to accept the All Ireland, unbelievable.
I know you're both now teaching in Dublin. Is there a possibility of a transfer to a club in Dublin? Let's just clear the air.
No, I think we'll be playing our club football in Kerry. Hopefully we'll be back next year. We've to play West Kerry in the county semi-final next Sunday, and please God, maybe it might be the turnaround next year. Maybe I might get injured and I'll give my captaincy next year.
The Hassett brothers from Killorglin. Congratulations, lads. Well done.
Well done indeed to the Hassets. Now, it's the turn of Liam Flaherty to come and join us, and also Declan O'Keefe. You had an absolutely tremendous match this afternoon, and there was one mighty cheer just before Morris got its final point when you made that marvellous interception this afternoon.
That's right. That's the way the game went for me. I was lucky the balls happened in my direction today. A lot of games I played, the balls don't happen my way, so delighted things went well for me today.
It was a great performance by your defence.
It was overall, excellently. Barry Shea was brilliant, full back. Our two cornerbacks were brilliant, and our two wing backs were super. Every one of the backs, even our goalie, super.
I'm sure you're looking forward to the homecoming tomorrow night in Kerry. It should be terrific.
That's right. I can't wait to get back. I was never before involved in the homecoming with a senior team, so super.
You're farming, of course, so I presume the cars are on automatic pilot at this stage. Declan O'Keefe was in goal this afternoon, and you had a great chance to view the Kerry defence in action as a unit, and they really stood up to the test.
Yes, sure. I must say that it was one of my easiest days today. The six backs were brilliant, really. They really pulled together as a unit, and I can't speak highly enough of them.
I know you study the opponents in detail, so presumably you'd expected Maurice Sheridan to be there to take a penalty if they were awarded one. You hadn't anticipated the other man.
That's right, Jar. I went to a lot of trouble to get a video done from RTE during the week to see Maurice Sheridan take a penalty, and unluckily enough, Kieran MacDonald came up to take it, and I was kind of caught in, so I said I'd wait, and really he stuck it away, and I had no hope with it, really.
Attention to detail nonetheless. Declan and also Liam, many thanks indeed. And that's where we're going to take a little break from this hotel here. We'll be back, of course, in a very short while after the announcement of the man of the match. Michael.
Yes, indeed, our next pleasant task here on the programme is to announce that very man of the match from this afternoon's final. Now, the last Kerry recipient of the award, by the way, was one Peace Balan for his display in the 1986 final. And just in case I forget to mention it again, congratulations once more to Pat and to wife Rosario, because they welcomed their third child into the family a couple of weeks ago, and it's a boy after 2 girls. So well done indeed. Now, who will follow in Pat's footsteps this evening on the man of the match from 86, that is, and win our beautiful trophy, plus his and hers gold watches? Colin Baruch has the answer to that.
Well, I suppose it's not too hard to pick out the man of the match this time around, but you know, when you look at it from a Mayo point of view, one of the great disappointments for them when they go home tonight and tomorrow and next week when they think about the game was the fact that very few of their players played up to anything like their known form. And I suppose apart from maybe the goalkeeper Peter Burke and Kenneth Mortimer and Pat Fallon in the second half, all their really good players were certainly below par today. Whereas on the Kerry side, there was a lot of heroes. Their half-back line, I was particularly impressed with Seamus Moynihan. Liam Flaherty had a great game, and Eamon Breen. Darragh O'Shea had a great game, certainly in the middle of the field. But, you know, when all comes down to it, there was one real hero today, and he's been a hero for a while. He was under a lot of pressure to perform today, real pressure, because coming into his first All-Ireland final, the hopes of a county were on him, and everybody in the nation were looking at him to see what he'd deliver. And this modest young man, who is a real sporting hero now because he has done it on the big day, and the man to match could be nobody else but Maurice Fitzgerald.
Congratulations. Well done, Maurice. Tremendous. Ladies and gentlemen, just a moment. Right. Maurice, this lovely piece of Waterford crystal is yours. There's also his and her watch, so you'll never ever be late for training. And also Jim Whitty is here, district manager in Kerry of the Bank of Ireland. He's got a final £5,000 to pay over. As winners, you've got £37,000 at all. You've received 32 so far, so this is the final 5,000. Jim?
Congratulations. Well done.
This caps a wonderful day for you.
Yes, sure, absolutely delighted, but I think Paddy has been saying it all along, and Seamus and the backroom team. This has never been a team about individual players, and I think it's taken every step in the championship. There's been a different player probably has come good for us, but it has been a total team performance. Some of the lads mentioned it earlier on there, and I think everybody will harp on about that it has been 27 players from the start of the year, and I think that has been ingrained to us. And we were very fortunate the way things came together. We put in a tremendous year's work, and well, this is the fruition of that, and I'm glad to accept this on behalf of the team, really.
Looking forward to getting back to Carsavine. And is it St. John Bosco School?
St. John Bosco School, yeah. I got a great send-off last week. I couldn't go in Friday. I couldn't take any more. But I'll be back in next week.
And there might be a Lala or two coming along.
I think we're off Monday, and I think there's a few more days that we'll have to discuss anyway, yeah.
You were, of course, one of the longest-serving Kerry players without an All-Ireland medal, and now you've put all that right.
Well, there's a man down there, and he's smiling up at me there with a wink. He used to be called a wiry cornerback, but we call him a wily one now. That's Stephen Stack. He's there a long time.
Maurice, many thanks indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the match for this football final. He was outstanding. Maurice Fitzgerald. Well done. Now, as Maurice goes down to take his place at his table, we're going to leave you here with some music. We've got Killian Burns back in position here once again. He's got the buska kjol. Killian, are you ready to go? Okay, there'll be plenty of clapping. This is a Kerry polka.
Couple of Kerry polkas.
Yes, Killian Burns livening up the proceedings at Jury's Hotel just as Maurice Fitzgerald brightened up the day at Croke Park this afternoon. And that, as they say, is a wrap on this year's Sunday Game series. I hope that you've enjoyed the action over the summer. Indeed, I know that you did, going by the great response that there has been from you over the months.